All right, I think we're live. There's one way to find out. Well, there's more than one way to find out, but one of the ways to find out. Oh man, yeah, I know. Not super duper live, I wouldn't say. How's that? Oh, it's delayed by like a million and it's super fuzzy. Excuse me. How's that? Hand wave up and down. Hand wave up and down twice. Well, it's got to be a minute delayed. Why so delayed, YouTube? Why so delayed? Oh my God. Trying again. Reload. Play. I just put it right back to exactly where it was. I didn't even reload it. Well, welcome to my delayed stream, kids, because I am desperate for coffee. So, yeah. I feel like the TV volume's still up, but I can't do anything about that right now, so you're just going to have to enjoy it in the background, along with the water bucket filling. Because sometimes in life, the volume's up. Sometimes in life, the water bucket fills. There we go. There we go. See if I can get in a position to make interesting coffee grindings. Interdasting. So yeah, I was trying to figure out what to cook for breakfast, and I had all these great ideas, and like all my great ideas just were like what I had last week, because that's probably my favorite. And I'm like, well, I can't just keep doing the same thing. So it's like I haven't had pancakes for a while. So what do you cook with pancakes? Pancakes and eggs? I guess I could, but I'm not. I think I'm just having pancakes today. Boring. But I'm gonna cook them on my big griddle. I haven't done that before, so that'll be fun. Exciting times, very exciting. Excited to cook pancakes. Look at that. Why is that sticking there? That's that fancy Seattle coffee. I don't know what it is that they put in that coffee, but it sticks inside my grinder. That really grinds my beans. Whatever. Here we go. Launch. It is official. The coffee is being brewed. Okay, so we got our Danish dough hook out. We're gonna be mixing our batter with that. We got the old vintage Super Flex for the precision flip. Got the wet towel for the dribble catch. We got the Vermont pure maple syrup for the maple syrup flavor. Got the rebuilt buttermill because it fell apart the other day. It took me about a half hour to figure out how to put it back together because I couldn't remember. Yeah. Good times. So we're going to go with the 2-cup mix today. So that's going to be 1 1/3 cups of the cold water and the 2 cups of the mix. And it's going to make 10 to 12 alleged pancakes. Seems like a lot, but I don't know. For some reason, I feel like if you're going to go through this much pain in the ass, you might as well make a few pancakes. So, I thought about making juice, but then I realized I don't have any juice to make, so except for like lemonade, and I'm getting sick of making lemonade because that's all I have is lemonade. I have to go juice shopping, I guess. Oh well. So what's today's topic gonna be? I mean, I got some good ones this week. Yeah. Oh God. 1 cup. Whoops. Dropped my little scooper. I'm getting a very good angle here, am I? That's right. Don't expect professional angles on an amateur YouTube channel. What an amateur! Had someone write that the other day. What an amateur! Oh yeah, no, spot on. How observant. Like, brought to you by Kellogg's. How observant. Alright, that is my official 2 cups. Eggs on sale! Ah! Gotta get me some eggs! What's the going rate? $4? $5? $18? I believe this is 1 1/3 cups here, if I can recall my recalls correctly, of cold water. Ice cold! Make sure I screw that up. Yeah, 1 1/3. I did preheat the old, yeah, just to get the, you know, that's a thicker piece of cast iron there, and it kind of takes a little bit for the old heat to get through. So, I mean, whatever. Forward the ad. Okay, well, I'll check my direct messages. I'm trying to think what was the first story I was going to talk about. Oh yeah, so I was driving down the old public road the other day, and I had just some asshole tailgating me again because, I mean, I can only assume he's making poor life decisions and he's not on time to wherever he's going. Therefore, he must speed, and if I'm in his way, that's a problem. Whatever. This guy's kind of tailgating me, like. Whatever. Try to ignore it. Only tailgate me in the 35-mile-an-hour zone. The 45-mile-an-hour zone, I don't think his truck could make it up the hill fast enough to tailgate me, so he couldn't tailgate me in the 45-mile-an-hour zone. Anywhoosies, I'm driving along and get over the top of the big hill, and we're going down the backside of the hill. There's a truck in front of me. It's a mid-90s Chevy, you know, box, square truck, whatever. It's the old truck. And I see a red light in front of me coming up. Let me run this off real quick so I can get like super hammered on there. And like, the red light's down the road. $1.77 a dozen limit too? I'll put a mask on. I'm going in disguise. Oh God. They're probably sold out. I think what was it, butter last time? They were sold out of butter, like butter on sale. Sold out! Well, anyways, I see the red light ahead. I see the guy in the blue Chevy approaching it, and I'm behind him. I'm not tailgating. No, it's a regular traffic situation, like no big deal. And I'm just like watching, you know, like watching for taillights, watching, you know, we're approaching the red light. We're going to be slowing down. Let's prepare ourselves. And then like I'm also kind of watching the guy behind me, whatever. And out of nowhere, oh, here I am. Out of nowhere, this truck just does this, like out of nowhere. I'm like, whoa, what's happening? Like, how that truck is so close to me? Well, turns out, old Chevy truck doesn't have any taillights. 0 taillights. Dude's just driving down the road, 0 taillights, just no taillight in it. And I'm like, holy crap, he's gonna kill somebody. So like, I take it upon myself in life to like notify other drivers when taillights are out, turn signals don't work, tires are low on air, I'll drive next to them at the first safe opportunity, like a 2-lane road, and I will honk my horn and indicate, roll your window down, and I will say to you, hey, you ain't got no turn signals, or hey, your tail light's out, or hey, you're driving on your rim, basically, or I'm a nice guy. I'm going to save you a ticket from the cops. That's what I'm doing. And I get a chance at the bottom of the hill by like the local Walmart, where it's technically 3 lanes. It's 2 straight lanes, one's kind of a right lane, and one's a left lane only, and I always go straight there. Well, this guy's in the center lane, so the only way I can get his attention is like, I'm going to make a sacrifice. I'm going to go in the left lane, turn left in a direction I don't go, to let this idiot know he doesn't have any brake lights. So I pull up right next to him, and we're stopped. And I honk my horn, doot doot, and I look over, doot doot, nothing. Doot doot, nothing. Doot doot, nothing. Honk, 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 nothing. I start screaming, hey, you ain't got no taillights. You know who's driving the car? An old man. An old man just in his own world, enjoying the universe that he lives in, ignoring everybody on the planet Earth. He's in the zone. He's out for a drive in his old truck. Just like, my God. How is it that this person passed the driving test where a human being parked? I was 1.5 to 2 feet from him, my vehicle, from his vehicle. I'm in my driver's seat, so there's a passenger seat, the 2 feet, then his head, and I'm screaming with the window down, and he's can't hear me. He's in outer space, just playing Space Invader. I don't know what the guy was just like, and I'm like, well, that dude's gonna get in an accident and probably hurt somebody, and there's nothing I can do. Like I can't do any more. So I could have thrown something at him, and then like the light turned green, and he just puttered along his way, just no brake lights, out for a cruise. Just living the dream. Just like, what in the actual is going on? So yeah, that was a fun one. I gotta figure out how do I get the pancakes from here to there? Like, it's a bit of a challenge. What can I do? I need like a scoop. What do I get for a scoop? I have a ladle. Is that weird to use a ladle? Am I getting too fancy? I probably have to get the cobwebs out of the old ladle here. I mean, not that cobwebs would be bad in pancakes. Probably give them a little substance, if you will. All right, so shallow fried pancakes. Oh, let's see if there's any like. Actually, you know what we should do first? We should make some coffee in a cup. Is what we should do first. I just realized that. Hey, buddy, you got no taillights! Sorry, sir. I'm driving. I'm not paying attention to other drivers. Keep your comments to yourself. And I was just like, oh, God. All right. Well, I mean, I'm a generally observant driver, but, man, that car came at me quick. Even though I knew we had a red light and I was prepared for the stop, it was like he stopped early for the red light. And it's just like, whoa! It was crazy. Kind of gave me like a half a heart attack. Hey, buddy, you got no brake lights. Nothing. Didn't even flinch. Didn't even like look over me like, hey, asshole, leave me alone. He was just like, he must have been listening to the futures on the AM or something on the fucking soybean report or something. I don't know what he was doing. Just out for a cruise. Probably going to get a coffee. Hang out with the buddies down at the old yeah. That's probably what was going on there. You got no taillights. That was fun. Can you slip your coffee any louder? For you, yes. So, what's next? Let me get this over here. Next story. Let's see. Recycling. I had recycling. I put some recycling out the other day. That was fun. The old city roll-off bin recycling, and usually I take mine out on like, oh, we'll make up some dates here. We'll say I put mine out on Monday, right? If I put my recycling on a Monday, when I wake up on Tuesday, it's empty, and I can take the can back up to my house sometime on Tuesday. Pretty. Whoa, oil. Ooh, that's probably warm. What you doing? You can't go there. That's the wrong way. Why is that doing that? God damn. This thing got a slope to it? Hold please. Hold please. Why is that oil, like normally the oil goes the other way. This thing might be like leaning. We're gonna do an experiment here. Do I have a slope griddle? I believe that surface has a slope to it. Is that possible? What's going on there? Can you see that? How when that was down here and I poured it, it just rolled off instantly, and then when I pour that here, it's like not going this way. I think this thing's got a slope to it. Now, unfortunately, this end is not going to be very warm. How am I going to fix that? That's like boiling hot oil. Oh, good. Well, we'll just let it ride. We'll just do that. We'll just do that. Now, how I need to come up with some sort of strategy to remember that, because that's kind of important. I mean, is it thicker on one end? Like, what's... I don't... There's something to it. I know there is, because that oil's not pouring off right here right now. See what I'm saying? See? Before, it poured right into there instantly. Now it's like kind of hanging out where it's supposed to. Whatever. I feel like I need to clean that up. We're going double paper towels here. Don't do this at home, kids. That's probably boiling hot oil, but we're gonna do the oil treatment on the whole pan right now. We're just gonna treat it all. Do it the old rub-a-dub-dub. Just polish her up. It's good to polish your oil pan every once in a while. All right, anyways, I was talking about recycling. So, recycling day, and like, unfortunately, I'm not a very good consumer. I cannot fill a full garbage can and a recycling bin every week. I know. I should try to purchase more shit to throw away more often. I'm trying to be a better consumer. I'm trying to be more destructive to the earth and trying to fill a goddamn garbage can every week like everybody else does. It's one of the things I struggle at. I'm going to do better in the future, and I'm going to produce more garbage and more recycling. But anyways, as it is now, I'm lucky every 2 weeks to 3 weeks or month if I can do monthly. I literally could have my garbage and recycling picked up once a month, and I wouldn't be like, oh, where are we going to put all this? Because I'm not a bag of shit. I don't have to buy... No comment. Jesus. So like Tuesday, I go down there like, oh, garbage or recycling still fill. Okay. Well, Wednesday, go down, it's still fill. I call them up. Like, hey, you suppose you're gonna stop by my house, pick up my recycling anytime soon? Nah. They're like, yeah, we're having some problems. We'll get that noon today. We'll get her. I was like, okay. I can't remember which day it was. Anyways, some more days or something happened. I can't remember. I go down to leave the house one day, and my garbage can's moved. I'm like, they moved my garbage can. That must mean, or my recycling. That must mean they came and picked up my recycling. And we are currently enjoying an empty recycling bin. You know, that's what I'm assuming. But unfortunately, it was just the case of the construction workers needed to have access to where my garbage recycling bin was sitting. So they just moved it, which, you know, can't get too upset about that. They got a job to do. So I'm like, well, according to the information I was given, my instructions were to take my garbage/recycling to the location that it normally goes. Oh, that's way too much. That's way too much and not hot enough. God damn it. And now the oil's going uphill. I'm screwing this up something fierce, aren't I? Ruined pancakes. I should have never spun. I should have just... Anywho's. So I see a dude in a machine, and I'm like, hey, buddy, I don't suppose you're probably the one I should talk to you about this, but you're the first one I found, so I'm going to talk to you about it. was like, what do you know about the garbage recycling situation? And he's kind of like, not a whole lot. And I was like, well, I was told per the, the written literature that your company gave me. Sorry, my dog's trying to get through. That if I just put my recycling / garbage out where it normally goes, it would be taken care of. And it has not gotten taken care of. So I assume, this is a rash assumption, I assume I need to talk to you guys because you guys are the ones that gave me the letter that said if I put my stuff out where it's supposed to go, it would quote unquote get taken care of, right? See how that works? He goes, yeah, I don't know. They didn't pick that up over there either. And I was like, well, yeah, no, that's all. We're all in the same boat. Like, that stuff's just for the people who live all the way down on the road construction where there's a dirt road mud hole. Like, yeah, no, I could be a psycho and ask you to take mine over there too, but I'm not a psychopath, so I'm just going to leave mine here. It's fine. He's like, yeah, man, I could probably look into it. I really don't know what to tell you, buddy. And I was like, well, that's probably the most accurate answer I could think of is like, you don't know because you don't. I'm like, cool, no big deal. And he's like, out of like left field, he just goes, hey, do you want any of this gravel? And I'm like, whoa, what? You're giving gravel away? He's like, yeah, gravel. I was like, this nice, clean, brand new pile of gravel here. He's like, haha, no, not that gravel. All this gravel that we put down for your temporary driveway, we're going to have to haul this shit out. Do you want it? We can put it in your driveway for you. And I was like, well, yes and no, because that's crushed concrete, and my main driveway is a white limestone, high-end fancy shit. But behind my building, that's all crushed concrete. So, like, unfortunately, I've got a trailer in the way right now, and I could move that trailer, and then you could, like, dump it up there. But the caveat is if when you dump it, you have to, like, kind of smooth it out because I can't have just piles of gravel. And he's like, yeah, we could probably handle that for you. And I was like, cool. He's like, tell you what, when you get home from wherever you're going today, come find me, and we'll make an arrangement, and then we'll make it all happen. I was like, fine, perfect. I'll come home today. I'll find you. I'll move that trailer. I'll make sure the gate's off, the lock's off the gate, so you can get in with a payloader, and you can just it'll be obvious. It's just the spot where the gravel is now. You just put more gravel there. It'll be perfect. It'll all work out for everybody. He's like, okay. So I'm very excited because it's going to be a lot of gravel. Crushed concrete, if you will. Come home from work. First thing I do is jump out of the car. Like, where's my homeboy? We'll call him Matt. We'll call him Matt. Where's Matt? Matt's gone for the day. I was like, what? How could Matt be gone? Matt told me to meet him after work today to talk about moving this gravel. They're like, we don't have a clue what you're talking about, buddy. And I was like, fair enough. They just happen to be the guys that are taking the full recycling cans back to the houses. Because by now they figure, well, it's so late in the week now, they're not coming. They're just going to wait till next week to pick up these garbage cans. So they just took full garbage cans back, which, for me, that's a new one. I've never experienced that before. I've never seen anyone take a full garbage can back to somebody's house. But anyways, that's what they did. So I was like, well, Matt's gone for the day. Fair enough. And it was maybe a little, yeah, whatever. He was just gone. I mean, what are you going to do? So I was like, well, I'll catch Matt in the morning. Well, the next day happened to be a rain day, but it hadn't really started raining hard, so some of the workers were there working away. So I get up, put clothes on or whatever to be outside, run outside, see the first dude. I was like, yo, is Matt here? I need to talk to Matt. Matt wanted to meet me last night after work, and Matt was gone, and I'm looking for Matt. Like, I gotta get this arranged, you know what I mean? Like, let's do this thing. Because when I came home the other day, the day before, I forgot to tell this part of the story. The whole section of my driveway had been excavated out, form set, sub-aggregate compacted, rebar in, ready for the concrete pour. And there's a giant pile of gravel just sitting right down by the end of my driveway. That's why I was like, damn, Matt's ready to go. He's got it set there ready to move. And I had also talked to Matt about it, and he's like, yeah, sometimes, we have projects, we got like a little bit of extra rock, and we just have to pay to get rid of it. Like, we could probably set something up where, like, I could bring you like a bucket of rock, and if you just have a place to put it, I just throw it there. And I'm thinking, yeah, no, that's probably something we could work out, bud. That's what we were going to work out after work the next day. So I go out that morning. Where's Matt? Oh, well, it's kind of raining. I think Matt left. And I was like, what? Matt's already gone? Like, they hasn't even started yet. This Matt guy, I want to be him when I grow up. He's like, well, let me. He's like, what do you need Matt for? Well, I was supposed to talk to him yesterday, and like he was gone. I'm just looking to talk to the guy. He pulls his phone out. Ba boop, bee boop bop. On the old beebity boo bop there. Makes a phone call. Calls Matt. How's it going that way? Matt answers the phone. Guy says, neighbor on the corner here says he wants to talk to you about some gravel. And he goes, yep, okay. Hangs up the phone. Sees me standing there looking at him like a doe-eyed anticipating free gravel, apparently sucker. And he goes, yep, there's no free gravel. I'm like, oh. Okay, well, I'm just like, dude, what just happened? Like, I didn't even talk. I mean, I didn't even like, I wonder if I get some free gravel. Like, that was never how. Like, I don't know what's going on. No. If it was a thing where like if Matt was pulling some shit, I don't want to be involved in that. Like, I don't want to get involved in an employee like stealing shit. Like, I don't know if that's what it was. I don't know if I was supposed to keep my mouth shut, not talk to anybody but Matt. But if that's how it is, I don't want that, dude. Like, I don't want what he told me was we got to pay to have this shit. Like, we got to put it in an 18-wheeler and haul it off and pay a dude to take it. It's like we'd much rather get. That's what I assumed was actually happening. Whatever. And then like in one of them days, like when I came home and I saw my driveway all formed in. I mean, I made a video about this and it won't be posted for like a week or two, but I'm going to talk about it today because it's fresh in my mind. Like if you follow the channel and you remember like last year when they screwed the driveway up and they made it too narrow and it wasn't going to match, and it was very like, I'm not going to say it was traumatic, but like I was kind of like, dude, you guys are fucking this thing up. Please don't pour that. And like I had to make a bunch of phone calls to a bunch of people and cry a lot to get them to stop because they were about to do it wrong. And it wasn't my opinion that they were doing it wrong. It was because they actually were going to do it wrong. One of them deals, right? And luckily they did get it stopped. Sometimes I don't like, I'll have pancake without syrup. Hold please. That's got like a good texture to it. Anyways. When I was having a conversation initially with Matt, I brought that up. I was like, hey, because Matt was the dude doing all the work, the dirt work guy. I said, hey, Matt, just want you to know that last year they were screwing this up so bad and no one could figure out. It was just a bunch of finger pointing. And I was just going to give you the heads up on that because I don't want anyone finger pointing you. I said, make sure to check your blueprint because, and I was like, I don't remember the numbers exactly off the top of my head, but it's about 2 foot difference between the narrowest point and where my driveway is because it flares to make the straight line to my driveway. And he says, like, well, we can't do it just to make you happy. I was like, dude, no, it's just it's drawn. You have to do it to the drawing, but they didn't check the drawing. They did it off their memory or whatever. He's like, I don't really know what you're talking about, but I appreciate the heads up. I am going to double check all that before we do it. I was like, cool. So I come home and I find this form section for my driveway. Before, if you'll imagine, it was narrow, too narrow in. And now, oddly enough, it's really wide. Like I eyeballed, I was like, well, that's too wide. Like the first thing I said when I saw it, I was like, they went too wide. But I'm not gonna bitch. It's just I feel fortunate to have it not too narrow, right? One of them types of scenarios. Let's get a little warm. But like the thing that's really strange is, if you also recall, I made an observation last year that they had in fact poured the concrete limit too far to the north. They poured too much concrete. And I could tell this because of the location of my trees and my buildings. Because on the map that I've got, the blueprint, it shows the locations of the trees and the buildings, and I know it's supposed to be lined up with one particular tree or whatever. They went way past. And like I kind of talked to some people about it. They're like, "Well, whatever, dude. That's where the concrete is." Hey, buddy, I got extra concrete. I'm like, "Whatever, dude." Well, when they did the new section for my driveway, what they decided to do is rather than line it up with the existing pours, they were just going to pour to where it's supposed to be, right? Because, you know, pour it to where the pin is, sir, and then we're just going to connect it to the other concrete is basically what they're doing. So right now, it is beyond, you got to be fucking kidding me crazy. So what's supposed to be is like, here's the pour line, right? Here's the road. And there's my driveway. It's supposed to be a straight line. Right now it's like that. Rather than this, they're pouring that. About 5 feet here. 4.5 feet out of straight. I mean, it literally looks like a person who forgot their, like a blind person has that stick. It's like a blind person came out without their stick and then decided to put the forms up. But I know exactly what they did. They went to where the pin's supposed to be, and they're like, well, we got to go over to the concrete. So they just went diagonal to the concrete. It's supposed to be like... And I'm just like, holy Moses. Like, is this actually happening? Like... And then, of course, I got my tape out and I measured, right? So... The new form is 2 foot wider than it's supposed to be. So I got 2 extra feet on the width. Where last year it was 2 foot short. Right, that was fun. The narrow part's 10 inches wider than it's supposed to be. So I'm kind of like, do I care that they're actually pouring more width and the front's crooked? But it looks so goddamn stupid. And it's like, this is forever for me. Like, there ain't nobody gonna come out and fix this. Now, the only thing I can think of is like maybe it'd be nice to have that concrete at an angle because when I come down with my skid loader, the blade will like hit diagonally and you won't get this clunk. But I said screw it. I called the supervisor overseer guy. I had him come down. I was like, dude, really? Like, is this really what we're gonna do? And he's like, yeah, it looks a little weird. And I was like, well, I can absolutely assure you that the pin that they put there is absolutely correct because I have a copy of the blueprint and that's where it's supposed to be, right by that tree right there. I can absolutely assure you that they poured the wrong amount of concrete last pour. That's why it's so far this way. It's like, it looks like the error's already been made. Can they just straighten it out? Like, and he's like, yeah, that's a pretty easy fix. They should be able to do that. And I was like, cool, man. Like, and then, like, I was talking with him about whatever the rocks and stuff, and he's like, no, they're not going to be giving that rock away. That rock there is to fix the old gravel road. And I'm like, what? Matt told me I'm getting that rock. And he's like, no, that's for the gravel road fixing. And I'm like, oh, well, we'll see. Well, I found out. I sure saw. I found out. Not for me. Nice try, buddy boy. I mean, whatever. So yeah, it'll be exciting. They didn't work on it over the weekend, so like I can only assume I'm gonna come home. I'm gonna come home on Monday night, and whatever they ended up doing is what it's gonna be forever. Because I'm gonna be probably gone, and I'm not gonna be able to be here to scream bloody murder, and you got to be fucking kidding me and all this shit. I just whatever. I think they're trying to pour that section of my driveway, and then like where like the footprints were, they tore that section out. They're trying to pour that in one pour. Ooh, that's barbecue hot there. Ooh, splitter splatter, splish splash. But it's just like, I mean, whatever. I mean, the extra concrete, it's like, I mean, what I'd prefer is them just to do what they're supposed to do, because like now, it's hard to describe because the whole thing's weird because Like my upper section of my driveway is an inside curve for most. There's a little bit of straightness, so it's mostly an inside curve. So it's all an inside curve. Then it's going to come down, and then it kind of interacts with the lower garage section by the street. And then like there's going to be a small section of straight, and then it's like a huge 30-foot. It's a curve with a radius of 30 feet, and the radius is off my property pin. They just did a 30-foot radius around. But like even like the quote unquote the extra driveway they're giving me, it just like it makes it look weird because it's too much. It's gonna look like a horseshoe because like it's like everything's like this now. Like the edge of my driveway is gonna look like that because it's coming this way. Then it's gonna radius out, and I'm just whatever. I'm just like oh well okay. Now, I mean, I suppose I could come up and I could kind of hit the edge of my bank, I guess, with a skid loader. And I could widen my driveway a little bit out on the upper section and, like, really make it look nice and straight. I mean, whatever. It's just like, God, man. I'm so hesitant to cry about them doing extra because I feel so goddamn lucky that they didn't do the wrong thing the first time. Oh, hey, what's up, toe shifter? So it's just like, I mean, extra concrete's cool because it makes my driveway bigger, but yeah, just whatever. I mean, I knew because I knew looking at the plans that I would have more quote unquote yard down by the street, but like, it's really starting to like, I don't know what you say, like they've got grade pins out that show where the road's gonna go, and typically the road pin grade pins are into the easement a couple feet. They measure out into the road. So like as I'm looking at those road pins in my mind, I have to remember that like those are not where the road is. Those are short of where the road is. So there's like, and it's like, dude, my front yard down by the street like is going to be gigantic. Like, I mean, I always joke like, oh, I could get a motorhome and park it down there. Like that's going to be no joke. I'm going to have a flat spot of grass down at the bottom of my driveway that I could put a 30-foot mobile home on. Easy. Flat. Dead flat pan flat. Like a little mini park down there. I could put a picnic table down there. I could probably put badminton down there. I bet I could get a badminton court up and I could play it and I'd have a flat plot in my yard. Not even joking. Not even exaggerating. It's just like, whoa, it's so crazy. Because like before it was like, there was enough room to mow a mower around the trees, but like those trees had big swells that came up. Well, that's all gone now. So like those swells are gone, but then that part's flat. But then like the driveway's out more and then the street's out more. And it's like, whoa, it's kind of crazy. So, I mean, I don't really know. I don't know where it's going to go or how. I mean, it's just like, I don't know. It's just, that's just the whole thing. And I don't know, maybe Matt was helping me out or something, and then he felt bad because I don't really know. I mean, what I do know is nobody knows, and like not only does nobody know, nobody cares. Like there's no human being that's working on that project that would ever be like, you know what? I don't know if this driveway's in the right spot. We need to do something. We need to double check that. Like, and what it'd be like it would only be a situation where if it was so egregious that like I don't know the person who lived there a bitch, they'd like look into it. That's all it is. I mean, like if I hadn't said anything last year, they would have just poured that thing and it would have been that way forever. Unless me or the person who lived here was like, wait a second. When a copy of the blueprint was available to me, I took a photograph of it and I know exactly like they didn't send me a photograph. The copy of the blueprint wasn't on display at City Hall. Like, I had to talk to a dude in the field that had the thing this big, and I was like, dude, start peeling pages. I want to see what the fuck's going on here. I want a copy of this shit. That's the only way I know what's going on. And if I hadn't done that, they'd be like, yeah, I know. Because even last year, the dude came out with his goddamn laser poker thing. He's like, yep, that's exactly right. And I called bullshit to his face. I was like, bullshit. That thing is lying to you. That is not right. I am fucking absolutely sure of it. He's like, no, that's pretty accurate. You know, this thing's pretty accurate. I was like, call him bullshit, buddy. Like, that is fucking wrong. Absolutely fucking wrong. And guess what it turned out to be, kids? It was fucking wrong. Yeah, that's right. Turns out old Elveshelves is able to eyeball 2 feet. When in reality, kids, you know what old Elveshelves can eyeball? I can usually eyeball an 1/8 inch. Honest to Christ. If something's an 1/8 inch out, I can see that shit. And if I'm really, really paying attention, I could probably eyeball a 1/16. Something a 1/16 out of, that's of an inch. 1/16 of 1 inch. 12 inches in a foot. That's what I do. That's what I do for a living, is I look at shit all day long in 1/16 increments. And I can tell when it's off by looking at it. Like, that's off a little bit. 2 feet? Jesus Christ. I could eyeball that with my fart. Like, I could fart in that direction and the air would blow my fart over there. My fart would be like, that's 2 foot off. You know, it's like, good God. I got a laser satellite machine. That says it's right. And it's like, I'm sitting there watching the guy operate it. I'm like, well, I could tell by your facial features as you observe the data entry machine part of your thing that you're reading it and it's telling you it's wrong, but you're telling me it's right. Like, that's what was happening. Because he was telling, like, what he was saying was that the pin was right, even though I know the pin was set back for the re-measurement back out for where, and then like, like, it was like, I actually called the dude that year, and I was like, you remember when you had your satellite thing and you said that was right? Yeah, no, they moved that a foot because that was a setback. And he's like, wah. I was like, dude, you told me that's exactly where it's going. And then they moved it this morning. I watched it. They came out with the tape measure, measured a foot, then pounded the stakes and I was like, that was a setback. And it went in the wrong direction. It got worse. Oh, I'm starting to get my blood pumping. Yeah, 2 foot. Close enough, motherfucker. You'll be fine. Like, what are you talking about? Hey, that's wrong, dude. Like, there's right and there's wrong. You're doing that wrong, buddy. Whatever. So, long story long, the driveway that was 2 foot and too narrow at the beginning of the concrete gravel is now technically 2 feet too wide, which is weird, and at an angle of 5 feet off on the square. So, yeah, that's pretty fun times there, kids. That's some fun times. It's also 10 inches wider in the narrow spot, but like, I mean, how do you expect people to get anything? I mean, that's 10 inches. I mean, come on. It's extra 10, so I'm not really that concerned about it. But like, and so my brain has to start thinking, because like that's the only way my brain works. I can't just be like, oh yeah, okay. Like, I'm not capable of that. I'm not capable of seeing what's happening in my driveway and not measuring it and not figuring out. And then after measuring it and figuring out, I'm not capable of being like, well, okay. So now my brain's like, well, what happened? Why is it 10 inches more? And why is it 2 feet more? And the only thing I can come up with, are you ready for this? So when they poured it last year, it's supposed to be 4 control crack panels wide. And they're supposed to all be, I'm going to do the math in my head, we'll say roughly 7 feet. It's actually 7 feet and change because the dimensions are like 31.5 feet and 32. Technically, it's supposed to be 32.7 at my driveway width. And it's supposed to be 31.6 at the narrowest point before the flares come out to the street. Okay? So they poured the half of it, which is pretty easy on a 31.6, right? I mean, you get your calculator and put 31.5 and divide by 2, and you're going to get a number. Okay, that's the number. They did that. And they did it parallel. Well, then it gets weird because the next section is, half of the first up there, but back here it's 2 feet more, right? Because of that flare. So when they formed it up, they just did the parallel. They didn't do the flare. And that's what the screw up was. They just paralleled it again. And then all that fighting, all the finger pointing, the suit wearing office people coming out and getting yelled at by the road, accusing the surveyor accusing the construction worker accusing the supervisor. All that was happening. And then they never figured it out. They never figured out what the problem was. I actually talked to someone later. It's like, and I was like, I figured that out for you. Like, no, we don't know about that. I was like, yeah, no, I literally figured it out. You didn't do the 2 foot flare. Anyways, so what they did is they just poured the third section. And when they poured the third section, once again, the surveyor doesn't come out and put a pin where they have to work. He puts a pin with a back set, and they have to measure off the back set to find the location of where it quote unquote goes, right? That's how they do it, because like the surveyor guy isn't the guy pounding the stake in. The surveyor guy gets in his truck and he leaves. He works for another corporation. So it's like he can't be out there reset it for him. So like what he did is I saw the guy's map. He has a map of all the control cracks, where every crack that has to be put in the concrete is. So he's pinning off those. But what the dudes that were working, they were just doing 50-50s. They were just half the road, quarter road, 3/4 of the road, whole road. That's all they were doing. But the control cracks aren't that. They're adjusted for the 2-foot flare. So when they did the surveying, he put the pin with the offset to where it's supposed to go. And these dudes did the survey off what they thought it was supposed to be, which I think poured more concrete, right? So like they fucked last year's up too. So then this year when he came out and he put the pin down with the offset, they're having to measure this offset, and they're going off the pour from previous, which is off. That's why it's white. It's just like like who's on first? It's just like, oh my God. That's the best I can come up with, is why they're missing it by 2 foot on one end, 10 inches on the other. Is because one dude's doing something with an understanding of this is how you're actually supposed to do it, and the other dude's doing it with the understanding of whoever was here previously did their job right? You know what I'm saying? So like that's in something. There's a like record scratch. Like one of them is happening, but whatever. So we'll see. I mean, it just. Part of me is like, dude, I'm gonna have to look at that crooked ass fucking curb for the rest of my life, like just forever. Just like this curb that just, but it like, I don't know, it kind of goes in towards the street garage, so it's like I can create a fantasy in my head of how that's correct. Like, oh yeah, no, that looks like the curb goes into that lower garage there. Yeah, no, it's perfect. You know what I mean? Like, I'm capable of mental gymnastics where I can just like, hey, bud, yeah, this is the plan here. Because like once again, I'm gonna turn this around. I'm about done filming for the day, but. The thing that like maybe not everybody realizes is like, even though quote unquote this is done by the city and this is quote unquote the city's road, right? Like this is the city road. About 15 to 20 seconds after this project is over, I can absolutely assure you I will be in charge of all maintenance. Any concrete damage there, the city will be like, sorry sir, that's your driveway. Any potholes, anything, any illegal parking, that's all me. Because that's how it's always been. If anyone ever illegally parked there and I called the city, you got to tow that shit, they'd be like, nope, that's your driveway, sir. You're in charge of that. We ain't towing nobody. If you want to tow somebody, you need to call the tow truck and you'll get a bill for towing because it's on your driveway. And I'm not exaggerating this. This is absolutely what's happened before. When I say, hey, can you fill the potholes in the street? They're like, oh, well, sorry, sir. That section's not the street. That's your driveway, right? See? So this is my driveway. So like whatever they do, even though they're doing it in quote unquote, that's officially the city's street. Yeah, in like mere moments after it's done, that becomes my driveway. And that's my problem. So like any stupid concrete pouring or retarded whatever curbing, that's my retarded, stupid. You know what I mean? It's just like, if it was a little crooked across the face, no big deal. But if I put my foot where the form is and I just passed out to the right and I hit the ground and I'm looking straight at the old concrete, that'd be about a straight line. And I'm 5'9". It's a little less than that, but yeah, it's like over 4.5, 5 feet. That's at an angle, like the straightness. But it's weird because it's like it's not. It's in the middle of the driveway, like just a diagonal line in the middle of the driveway that's going to make water go, like it's not going to direct water in a direction I think water should be, like it's opposite of everything. It's like, it's not angled up my driveway so the water would hit the edge of that concrete and like go around the corner. It's like, so the water would come down my driveway, hit the concrete, and then like go up the hill into the bank. It's just like, there's no logic to any of it. It's not a water control feature. It's just this, what it is like the surveyor put the stake there. The guy's like, well, that's where it goes. Like you can see they had it excavated out because like if you're driving a machine and you see the concrete, it's like, well, that's just a straight line there. It's like, the 100-mile, yeah. Well, it's sitting over there on the old RC table. Unfortunately, I think today I'm going to try to pick some sticks up out of my yard because my yard hasn't had sticks picked out of it. It's for well, ooh, I don't think I did much stick picking last summer. I mean, I might have got the spring batch, but I also was kind of busy last spring, and I might have been like, I'll get that later, and then went into the one-arm pirate mode for a whole year. And yeah, no, I got like 2 years worth of sticks in my front yard that I probably ought to do something with, and I think today might be the day I work on that just a wee bit. But yeah, that could be fun. But ain't nobody come picking my sticks up. Okay, well, 10 minutes. We're gonna end 10 minutes early. Pancakes don't take very much time to prepare, so whatever. We'll keep you updated. I mean, when you see the video, you'll see it'll be in a couple weeks or whatever. But good luck on your city-involved projects. Mine are going. They're going. Whatever. All right. Enjoy the wind. You know I will be. Peace.